You've lived over 7 decades. You've raised families, worked hard, and weathered storms. So why, now, when peace is what you've earned, does someone still make you feel guilty for simply saying no? If you're over 75, your time is sacred. And yet, certain relatives continue to drain your energy, not with fists, but with feelings. In this series, we uncover the 7 types of toxic relatives every elder should beware of, for one reason only: your peace matters more than their expectations. Let's begin with Type 1, the Guilt Tripper. Welcome to Elderly Life, a place where we celebrate the beauty of aging and cherish every moment. If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. They come with smiles, warm greetings, maybe even a hug. But beneath the surface, there's a hidden weapon: guilt. This type of relative uses your heart against you. They say things like, "You never call anymore. We only see you when you need something. After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me?" At 75, you've given enough. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. And yet, guilt trippers want you to feel less than, unless you bend to their will. But here's the truth. Guilt is not love. Manipulation is not care. And just because someone is family, doesn't mean they get to hurt you emotionally. How to spot them? You feel drained after conversations. You often say yes when you want to say no. You find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do wrong. How to protect yourself? Set boundaries gently, but firmly. Limit your contact, if needed. Practice saying, "I'm allowed to choose what's right for me now." You've earned peace, not pressure. It's not selfish to guard your energy, it's wise. Some people bring sunshine when they enter the room. The drama magnet brings a thunderstorm. No matter the occasion, a birthday, a family meal, a quiet phone call, they always find a way to turn peace into chaos. They speak loudly, interrupt often, and exaggerate everything. A small disagreement becomes a betrayal. A forgotten birthday becomes a lifelong wound. Their emotions aren't shared, they're exploded. At 75 and beyond, your nervous system deserves rest. You don't need to absorb other people's chaos just to keep the peace. Because with the drama magnet, there is no peace, only attention. Signs you're dealing with a drama magnet. They constantly talk about who did them wrong. Every visit includes gossip, tears, or raised voices. You feel on edge, like you're walking on eggshells. How to protect yourself? Stay calm. Do not feed their drama. Excuse yourself when the conversation gets loud or toxic. Let them know, "I'm no longer available for drama. I want calm in my life now." Drama magnets thrive on emotional reactions. The less you react, the less power they have. Your life is not a stage. You don't owe anyone an audience. They don't ask, they expect. They don't visit, they demand. And when you say no, they act as if you've committed a crime. This is the entitled taker. A relative who sees your time, your money, your energy, as theirs. They might say, "You're retired now, you have nothing else to do, help me with this. You don't need that much money, just lend it to me. You have a car, pick me up." But behind these requests is a heavy truth. They don't see you as a person. They see you as a provider. At 75 and beyond, your resources are for you. You've earned your rest. You don't have to explain why your time is valuable, it just is. How to recognize the entitled taker? They only contact you when they need something. They become distant or cold when you can't help. They guilt you for putting your needs first. How to protect yourself? You say no without over-explaining. Create clear boundaries. "I'm not able to do that anymore." Watch how they react when you stop giving, that's when the truth shows. Kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. You can be generous, but you are not an open wallet. And love doesn't mean self-sacrifice. You cooked them a meal. They said it was too salty. You wore your favorite shirt. They asked, "Why that color?" You shared a happy memory? And they reminded you of what went wrong. This is the constant critic, the relative who never sees the good. Their words are sharp. Their tone is cold. And no matter how much you try, you're never quite right in their eyes. At 75 and beyond, you've lived, learned, and grown. You don't need correction, you deserve connection. But the constant critic doesn't offer help. They offer judgment. They'll critique your choices, your appearance, your habits, even your past. And when you speak up, they'll say, "I'm just being honest. Don't be so sensitive. I'm saying this because I care." But caring doesn't sound like condemnation. And love doesn't feel like a wound. How to spot the constant critic? You feel smaller after talking to them. They rarely give compliments without a correction attached. You feel the need to prove yourself around them, even now. How to protect yourself? Stop seeking their approval. You don't need it. Say, "I prefer kindness over criticism now. Please respect that." Keep distance if the pattern doesn't change. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a soul to be celebrated. They smile. They help. They listen. At first, they seem like the most thoughtful person in the family. They say things like, "I just want what's best for you. You can always count on me. Let me take care of everything." But slowly, quietly, they begin to control. They make decisions for you, without asking. They insist you do things their way. And if you disagree, suddenly, they're hurt, offended, distant. This is the manipulator in disguise. They wear kindness like a costume, but underneath, they are always calculating. They may want access to your money, your house, your decisions. They don't push with force. They guide with guilt. At your age, independence is precious. And no matter how well someone means, your choices are still yours. How to recognize them? They offer help, then expect something in return. They pressure you to agree, for your own good. You feel like you owe them, even when you don't. How to protect yourself? Be clear, "I appreciate your support, but I decide what's best for me." Ask questions, "Why do you need access to that?" Don't sign or agree to anything when you feel rushed or unsure. Help is beautiful, when it's honest. But manipulation, even in soft tones, is still manipulation. You've spent your life giving others freedom. Now it's your turn to live with clarity, confidence, and choice. They don't call to ask how you are. They call to unload. And when they speak, it's a flood. Complaints, drama, tears, anger, regret, all dumped onto you. This is the emotional dumper. A relative who uses you as a therapist, a sponge, a silent wall. They speak nonstop, expecting you to listen, comfort, fix, and hold their weight. But when you need someone, they're suddenly too busy, too tired, or simply unavailable. At 75 and beyond, your emotional energy is not a landfill. You've carried enough burdens in life. You don't need to carry theirs too, especially when they never carry yours. Signs you're dealing with an emotional dumper. You feel heavy and tired after every conversation. They rarely ask about your life, your health, or your feelings. They interrupt your rest or peace with crisis after crisis, none of which ever resolve. How to protect yourself? Set clear boundaries. "I'm not able to talk right now." Redirect. "I think a counselor would be better for this." Limit conversations that leave you emotionally drained. Listening is a gift. But no one has the right to drain you under the name of sharing. This season of life is not about absorbing endless pain. It's about experiencing lightness, joy, and rest. They never raise their voice. They never confront. They never look like the problem. But somehow, after they've been around, people stop trusting each other. Tension grows. Distance forms. And you're left wondering, what changed? This is the silent saboteur. A toxic relative who doesn't attack directly. Instead, they whisper, suggest, and plant doubt, quietly. They say things like, "I wouldn't tell her that if I were you. Just between us, I heard he's not being honest. You didn't hear it from me," but they use gossip as a weapon. They create division, not with arguments, but with innuendo. And in families, this kind of poison spreads fast, especially when we trust the wrong mouths. At 75 and beyond, your relationships should be clear, honest, and peaceful. You don't have time for games, or players. How to recognize the silent saboteur? They rarely say anything bad to your face, but others tell you what they've said behind your back. You feel confused after speaking with them, as if they twisted something. Family conflicts often seem to trace back to things they accidentally mentioned. How to protect yourself? Don't engage in gossip, shut it down kindly but firmly. Be direct. If you have something to say, please say it honestly and respectfully. Keep sensitive matters private from those who twist them. Silence can be kind. But silence can also be a weapon, when used by those who hide behind it. You've earned the right to live without fear of manipulation, lies, or division. You deserve clarity, honesty, and loyalty. You've now met all 7 types of toxic relatives. 1. The guilt tripper. 2. The drama magnet. 3. The entitled taker. 4. The constant critic. 5. The manipulator in disguise. 6. The emotional dumper. 7. The silent saboteur. These roles may look different, but they all have one thing in common. They rob you of peace. And peace is not something you should earn. It's something you've already earned, simply by living, loving, and surviving this far. So protect it. Choose wisely. And remember, being related by blood doesn't mean you owe them your soul.